In the dead of night, under the sliver of a crescent moon, a small, elite team crept towards the perimeter of the sprawling industrial complex. This wasn't just any old factory. It was the headquarters of Omnicorp, a tech giant rumored to be involved in some seriously shady business. The team, codenamed Spectre, moved like ghosts, their black gear melting into the shadows. Their mission: infiltrate, retrieve the incriminating data from the central server, and get out without a trace. Easy, right? They'd done this a dozen times before. They bypassed the outer fences with practiced ease, snipping wires and disabling sensors with tools that looked like they were straight out of a sci-fi movie. The leader, a man known only as Viper, gave a series of hand signals. Two members peeled off to secure the exit route, while Viper and the tech specialist Echo made their way towards the main administrative building. Every step was deliberate, every breath controlled. The silence was absolute, broken only by the distant hum of the facility's power grid. They were phantoms in the machine, invisible and unheard. Inside, the corridors were sterile and eerily quiet. They moved past empty cubicles and dark conference rooms, the only light coming from the faint glow of emergency exit signs. Echo got to work on the server room door. It was a beast of reinforced steel with a multi-layered biometric scanner. "Child's play," she whispered, her fingers flying across a portable console. A few clicks, a soft whir, and the heavy door hissed open. The server room was a chilly cathedral of blinking lights and humming machines. This was the heart of Omnicorp, the digital brain holding all its secrets. Echo plugged her device into the main server rack. Green lines of code cascaded down her screen as she initiated the data transfer. Viper stood guard, his senses on high alert, scanning the darkness for any sign of trouble. The progress bar crawled agonizingly slow. 40%, 50, 60. This was the most vulnerable part of the mission. Every second felt like an hour. Then it happened. A single piercing red light flashed to life on a security console in the corner, followed by a low, guttural alarm that started to build in volume. "We're made," Viper hissed, his hand instinctively going to the weapon on his hip. Echo frantically tried to speed up the transfer. "Just a few more seconds," she urged. The quiet infiltration was officially over. Heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway, growing louder and closer. Doors slammed open. Shouted commands cut through the air. The facility had woken up, and it was angry. 80%, 90. Echo yelled over the blaring alarm. Finally, the screen flashed transfer complete. She ripped the drive out just as the first armed guards burst into the server room, their flashlights cutting through the dark. What followed was pure, unadulterated chaos. The silent, graceful entry was a distant memory. Now it was a mad dash for the exit. Viper laid down cover fire, his silenced pistol now spitting lead with loud, sharp cracks. They sprinted back the way they came, but the sterile corridors were now filled with armed security. It was a running gun battle, a symphony of shouting, gunfire, and shattering glass. They linked up with the rest of their team, who had been forced to engage guards near the extraction point. The plan to leave quietly was out the window. Now it was about leaving at all. They fought their way through the maze of buildings, explosions rocking the compound as they used diversionary charges to create openings. They piled into their escape vehicle, a modified armored van, just as a dozen more security jeeps swarmed their position. Tires squealed on the pavement as they crashed through the main gate, leaving a trail of destruction and blaring alarms in their wake. They had entered like whispers in the night, but they left like a roaring hurricane. The mission a success, but the cost written in smoke and chaos. Thanks for watching, and if you love stories like this, make sure to subscribe for more.